It's all new to her. She's never had taught blind people before this series of classes.
She's better at describing, and we are better at moving together.
Ignorantly, I thought blind meant you just can't see. I was like, you just can't see. Because I taught seniors classes, they're like, oh, you can do a class for the vision impaired. I was like, oh, also don't have training in this. Never before has the ability to just show been taken from me. So that for me was scary. So now to adapt to visually describe, at first it was just a bit exhausting because I didn't understand how much I had to talk or when I had to talk. But it's coming easier for me now. And I'm also trying to set them up for success where I do familiarity things. So I'm like, this is the song you already know. These are the moves we've already done. And we've given names like the sunshine stretch. And a lot of them have not taken a dance class. So it's not like they already have a language either. So we're kind of developing those things together.
I felt it was a great way of learning because I was going to be with other peers that are blind and visually impaired. So I felt great about that because they can't see what I'm doing anyway.
She gives very good description, and she really wants to hear from us how we want it described.
I've had to learn new tricks and new ways of describing things, and sometimes it's really effective, and sometimes they call me out. But I think I've gotten better about when someone is struggling, understanding it might not just be because of one reason.
I can't see at all, so it's very important for the verbal instruction to be correct. Allison has done a great job.
So for a lot of it, it's been trial by fire for me and figuring out what's effective, and I've also tried to really take my cues from the participants. So one of the participants, who I know has never had sight, is always talking about color and color difference. So I've tried to never assume description, but to go off of if it's given to me, then I will respond back to it. So I sort of took where I was at as a senior dance instructor and started adapting it for if I couldn't see and didn't know if someone was near me, would that be dangerous and how, right? Because it's one thing if you're not as stable on your feet, but if you also don't know if someone else is not as stable or near you. So I do more arm-based, upper shoulder, upper body, but I've gotten a little bolder with the students. I didn't used to do the, the marching and the outs and the ins because I was like, oh, what if someone fell, right? I'm always worried about what if something happens. They're also adults who want to function in the world and want to be physical and do things. So I've said, is it okay if, and I always give the option to be adaptable. My deepest fear was saying something wrong or just making assumptions about, what was needed or what wasn't needed and just not really knowing. Some people have very close vision. So if you're really close, they can see a little bit. Some people have no peripheral, but if you stand in front, that's okay. Some people have no vision at all. Some people were sighted and now don't have vision. So if I use an example, like how when a tree, that might be helpful to some, but not to all. I don't usually ask a specific, what is your vision like? I'll just say what you need from me to be helpful in this class or to be successful. I can perceive that some of them can see me by how they are interacting with me. So I'll know that if I'm up close to them, they can tell what I'm doing. For example, Ali, when he starts to get down with the hip movements, I'm like, oh, he can see that I'm doing that with him. And I can tell by the way he's interacting with me.
If she sees that we're not doing something correctly, she will come over and ask if she can touch us. So it's all just a really good, safe place.
No, you're okay. So you're gonna let them go more like this.
Yeah, almost like waves.
Okay.
I
see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just really, yeah.
Like on this swing.
Yes, like on a swing. That's a perfect example.
Different people have different language. So what works for one participant might not work for another. So I know some people want me to come hold onto their hands. Some people just describe it for them. Some people can see me if I come up close.
There are guide dogs in the class and they just relax during the class.
Every person's different. So if you specifically were like, I can see you, but I can only see your outline. So if you do it, you have to do it straight in front of me, please. And arms have to go up and down and it has to be, within 3 feet. So it just gave me a good perspective on not assuming and also teaching me that people have different needs and different requests for those needs.
Everyone that is in a position to should experience it.
So